Imagine yourself in the future, let's say the year 2050, a future where biodiversity is valued and conserved, where it provides us with food, health, clean air, and water. Biodiversity is the variety of life on Earth, including plants, animals, and microorganisms. This future is the outcome of a vision, agreed upon among countries, to stop the decline in biodiversity. Several decades ago, things looked differently. Since the Industrial Revolution, biodiversity had been declining. In 2015, we realized that in the last 40 years, 4.6 million square kilometers of natural area was converted. This equals the size of Europe. This was caused by us. Crops and livestock replaced many nature areas, and even 1/3 of all food produced was being wasted. 90% of oceans were fully or overexploited. We were building more roads and clearing large areas of forest for timber and paper. If continued, this would have led to another 10% of biodiversity loss globally by 2050. Mostly in areas that still had a large number of species. Aggregated, this effect would be similar to cutting down a pristine forest the size of China. It would have had major consequences for us humans. Loss of nature areas would have aggravated climate change. It would have caused more floods and droughts. Lack of diversity would have made crops more vulnerable to pests and diseases. So what did we do to change course? We stepped up our sustainability initiatives. Protected areas were expanded and more effectively managed. There were large-scale changes across governments and societies. For example, production standards improved. Technology enabled us to grow more food on less land. We reduced our meat and dairy consumption, using less land to feed animals, and we reduced our food waste. These changes helped to halt the decline in biodiversity. Imagine yourself in the year 2050. Biodiversity is valued and conserved. Our future is not fixed.
We protect around 1% of our marine surface area, even though 71% of our planet is covered by water. A tiny proportion, considering we protect 12% of our land surface area. Fish are worth more to humanity than gold. Over 1 billion people rely on fish as their primary protein source, and over 500 million people count on the oceans for their livelihoods. We need healthy oceans to support our way of life. 80% of the world's fish stocks are fully or overexploited. 90% of the top ocean predators have disappeared. We are overfishing our oceans. Each year, billions of marine animals, including many endangered species, become bycatch, the unintentional victims of indiscriminate fishing practices. Albatross, turtles, sharks, and more. Many could be lost forever. Oceans are complex, interconnected systems. Damage one part and all the others suffer too. Wiping out top predators, like sharks, allows other species to multiply unchecked. Are we turning our seas into jellyfish soup? Will the restaurant menus of the not-so-distant future offer us only jellyfish and chips? If we don't take action, some scientists have predicted that our fish stocks will collapse by the middle of the century. Marine reserves work. They provide a refuge for species, including fish, top predators and migratory animals, by protecting the habitat they depend on during critical life stages. Enforcing fishing quotas and establishing reserves creates jobs and sustains the fishing industry. Restoring our oceans will take time, so we need to act globally and act now.
The forest. The forest covers 30% of our planet. More than 7 billion people call Earth home, and they all use paper. It takes around 26 trees to make 1 ton of paper, and Indonesia produces more than 9 million tons of paper per year. But the number of destroyed trees is much higher, ranking it 3rd in the world. With 10% of the remaining tropical forest today, the Indonesian forest is home to many endangered animal and plant species. With 2% of the Indonesian forest destroyed a year, Indonesia has the highest rate of deforestation. In the last 100 years, Indonesia has lost more than half of its forest and could be completely gone by 2022. The amount of wood needed is more than what can be legally produced. It's not just the forest that suffers. Without the forest, our planet cannot breathe. We have global warming and a climate change. Now it is up to us to take action. We have an opportunity to make a change.